Hey, everybody. It's your boys back at it again. Your usual host, Preston Simpson, or you can call me Drip God. That's 2Ps_GAWD. Be sure to follow my X account as well as Instagram and Facebook. All right, guys. Dante and I are going to jump into a couple things today regarding the most recent games that happened, the tournament game, and we're going to play another fun game of resupply the bench. So, just a second here. We're going to jump right into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Houston Rockets H-Town Rundown basketball podcast where Dante and I break everything down as per usual. You can go ahead and follow us account at H-Town Rundown on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. It's popping off over there, as well as the X app where you're likely watching this YouTube, as well as follow my boy Dante at Coach Dante31 on Instagram and Twitter. Dante, hello, man. How's it going? And how are you feeling? Tell me how you're feeling.
Man, I'm feeling great, man. We had a great week for Houston sports, man. How about the week that we had, man? The Houston Texans getting a big win over Cincinnati, going in Cincinnati. Houston Astros hired their general manager. And how about our Houston Rockets, man? Like I said, man, I told y'all, man, this coaching staff, we're going to look a lot different. Some of those games that we would have lost last year, hey, we are winning them already starting off this year. I can't wait to get into it.
Clutch time buckets, defensive pressure, defensive mentality, scoring mentality. You've got it all, especially as coaching ability. Oh, man. Let's jump right into it. We're going to jump right off with so before the Houston Rockets versus Lakers game, a reporter asked Dylan Brooks what's going to happen between him and LeBron. And Brooks is like, I'm going to guard him. I'm going to defend him. And everyone was, calling back when LeBron dropped 20 and 20 on his head, had a career high in rebounds in the playoffs and all of that. Well, guess what happened? We won that game. It didn't matter that Dylan Brooks was trying to poke the bear once again. It ended up in a failure. It was absolutely a phenomenal game. He ended up holding LeBron 2-6 in a 128-94 win. Now, here are key players for the game against the Lakers was Jalen Green. He played 21 and a half minutes, which is actually pretty phenomenal considering he had 28 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, and a steal. He ended up shooting 73% from the field, 83% from 3, shot 5 of 6, but he only made 1 of 5 from the free throw line, grading of 25%. And then we're going to give another nod to Alperen Sengun, our best player on the team as per usual. He played a straight 25 minutes, 19 assists, 19 points, rather 7 boards and 4 assists. He ended up shooting 80% from the field. Didn't make a 3, but he shot 75% from the free throw line, which is good to see your big man going crazy with that. He ended up having a plus 18 in the game, as well as our boy Fred VanVleet. He had 9 points, 4 boards, 10 assists, and a steal to go along with a plus 28 in the plus and minus bracket there. He didn't shoot too well. He only shot 22% from the field and 70% from 3, 1 of 7, but he made all his free throws. Now, Dante and I are going to talk about a couple things from the keys for the game, and a couple of those begin with the on-a-string defense, the way we were moving around on every defensive possession, the box outs that we had, and transition offense. Dante, break down the game for me and give me your thoughts.
Man, how about that defense? Only giving up 94 this game to the Lakers. Anthony Davis was out, but like I said again, Lakers, like I say, everybody think this is the same team from last year. You can just come in here and I think you can get an easy dub. Not with this team, not with this well-coached team, not on this defense, not when guys are buying in and when we got veterans getting on the young players behind and keeping them focused, keeping them from being lackadaisical. One thing we all knew that Ime Udoka, he's going to love his team, but it's also he's going to show tough love. I'm going to get into more of that because Jeff Green played more minutes than Jabari Smith in clutch time for the last 2 games, but that gives you a testament. If you don't play hard, you won't play. For Ime Udoka, you will not be on the court. You will be on the bench next to Ime Udoka and the rest of your teammates. But other than that, only giving them 94 points. This game was pretty much, as soon as we got a double-digit lead, this game was pretty much over from the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We dominate the game from start to finish. We made 14 threes, 42% from the three-point line. We were piss poor from the free throw line in this game. We was only 12 of 19 for 63%. The Lakers won that much better. They were 62%. How about we beat them by 23 rebounds, man? We out-rebounded by 23, 57 to 34. We got 14 offensive rebounds, man. We are really attacking the board. I guess that box out drill at practice, that's working. Mm-hmm. That's seemed to work. 26 assists. Now, I pointed out in several games, during the 3-game winning streak, we've been having over 26, 25, 30 assists. That shows, guess what? Like we had to go through last year without a point guard and a couple of years ago. Jalen Green and, KPJ wanted to get into do your thing basketball with no ball movement. Now, we've seen a lot of pick and roll action. We've seen our 2 best playmakers getting guys involved and getting guys open shots, 26 assists. We had 13 turnovers. I like that we had 13 turnovers. That's not too bad based on, we would have had last year. We'd had about 30 turnovers last year. Than that, fast break points, 20. And how about in the paint? 68 points in the paint, man. That was definitely real good. Jalen Green out there playing some very good defense that night. How about him? Just ripping Austin Reeves, just ripping them, going to the rim. Tyree Eason coming in the game, man. I believe this was Tyree Eason's first game, if I'm not mistaken. He made a huge impact on this game. Tyree Eason, I believe, had 9 rebounds in this game. 9 rebounds and 9 points in this game made a huge difference on the boards and playing some good defense. Jayshawn Tate has just been a menace on defense. Like I said, EU was just on the road about trading him. Now I don't think it's so much, man. This man really playing well, shooting the ball well, but when he's not being effective, he's playing defense. He's giving an effort on the defensive side of the ball, which is I will get more into that in a minute. And again, Aaron Holiday chipping in big minutes as usual since Amin Thompson come out. Now, when Amin Thompson comes back and he gets healthy, he's going to get he's going to get minutes. He's going to get his normal minutes. But I'm making a case, and I'm campaigning to make a case that Aaron Holiday should still get some minutes. Because he's earned the right to get some minutes in that backup point guard situation.
Absolutely, yeah. Aaron Holiday's been phenomenal. In this game, he was looking like Pat Bev, the way he was able to lock up multiple Laker players, locked up D'Lo in the 4th quarter, and late in the 3rd quarter, he was able to lock up a few of their other key players and force them to pass the ball. Aaron Holiday has solidified himself as the backup point guard. Obviously, Amin Thompson still deserves some minutes, but, he's very fluid and malleable at this point in his career, so it's not like he needs minutes at the point guard to have point guard duties. We can run 3-guard lineups with him being so tall at 6'7", he can always run the 3, and we can still have an Aaron Holiday, Jalen Green, Amin Thompson lineup, or a Fred VanVleet and Amin Thompson lineup as well. There are a lot of combinations that we've already seen, and I'm excited for him to come back. But this was Tari Eason's return game. He said Ime ended up saying he was only going to play about 14, 15 minutes. He played at 14 and a half minutes. So, keeping his role right there is keeping his word. Exactly 14 and a half minutes in between 14 and 15 minutes there. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 14 and a half minutes. That is probably the most Tari Eason thing ever. It's good to see that Tari Eason is just able to come back and really come back like he never left. Obviously he struggled in the next game here, but against Lakers he was pretty good. There was one possession where he locked up Cameron Reddish, which was beautiful because, man, Cameron, I love what he could be. The idea of Cameron Reddish, he just never reached that full potential. Somebody that I would have liked to see that reach that full potential though. So we're going to move on to the next game here, which ended up being our first tournament game. Tournament begins finally for us. We are 1-0 with the Rockets versus Pelicans game, where it was just a wire-to-wire win. This was back and forth all game, but we ended up able to clinch it here, 104-101 W. Alperen Sengun is our top player for the key players. Of course, as per usual, he had 24 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He did have 4 turnovers, but he shot 73% from the field, and he only made 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Again, kind of that free throw regression. It seems like we're kind of seeing from a lot of our guys here. Jalen Green ended up having 25 points, 4 boards, and 1 assist in 35 minutes, but he made 9 out of 10 free throws to go along for 90% from the field. However, his regular numbers were not great. His field goal percentage was 39%, and he only went 1 of 4 from 3, which is very disappointing from our scoring guy. But he did have 25 points on 10 free throws, which is nice to note, as well as Dylan Brooks, who was in foul trouble earlier in the game, but he played every single minute of the fourth quarter, was able to dominate on the defensive side, going for 10 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block to just completely fill up the stat sheet. He did have 5 fouls in the game, but he shot 43% from the field, 100% from 3, and 6% from the free throw line, which is absolutely phenomenal, going 100% from 3. I believe he went 1 of 1. We're going to talk about a couple things here for the game, but the biggest key factors were the paint offense, the way we get into the paint, which directly led from transition play. We're able to defend in transition and then push the fast break, push the tempo, as well as the overall paint offense that generated the transition play. So go ahead, Dante, and break it down for us once again.
Well, first of all, man, again, 101 points. They did, like I say, in that second quarter, we really put that defense on them, man. That's when we really started to pull away in that second quarter. When Jayshawn Tate them got in the game, Tyra Eason, I mean, they were locking down in that second quarter. I believe we built a 14-point lead. The Pelicans did a great job of closing the half out. They got down by 6, and then in the third quarter, the Pelicans really put it on us. Jordan Hawkins, didn't have a point in the whole first half. He comes out in the third quarter. He gets on fire, lights us up for 12 points in the second half, 13 points overall until he was fouled out. I like the aggressiveness. We fouled out Valanciunas. We fouled out, Jordan Hawkins. And again, Brandon Ingram, it just seemed like he couldn't miss a shot in the third quarter or late in the game pretty much. But when it mattered the most, guess who stopped him? Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks
clamping him up in the fourth quarter. Dylan Brooks even blocked a shot on Valanciunas and got hyped. How about him stealing the ball from Brandon Ingram when we was down? Well, I believe when we was down, and then him making some free throws when Valanciunas tried to block his shot right there. Now we did get out rebounded by 7. We got out rebounded by 7. We didn't shoot the ball well enough to win this game, but again, this is one of these games last year we got killed in the fourth quarter because, again, we didn't do well. We didn't shoot well. We didn't shoot the 3 well. We made 78% from the free throw line. But one thing we did, when we didn't make shots, we played defense. That's what we did. We played disciplined defense. How about Fred VanVleet, man, making that corner 3-pointer off the offensive rebound and making that clutch 3-pointer when we was down by 1 point, down by 2 points to put us up 1 point. Then he hits a couple of free throws to give us the victory. Fred VanVleet closed the game out with 8 straight points in this game. He was clutch. That's what a leader does. That's what a veteran does. But one key thing I want to touch on right here. Tyra Eason was struggling. It was a fast break opportunity. He had an opportunity to pass the ball. He goes 3-on-1, and he misses a layup, doesn't get back on defense. Now, all of a sudden, they come back down the other end and make a shot. You know what happened to Barry? You know what happened? He made Udoka say, come get your ass on the bench with me.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. Struggling, couldn't guard anybody. Couldn't guard in the paint. What he does, put Jeff Green out there on Zion. Hey, you can't rebound. You don't want to box your man out. You don't want to play tough. Come sit your ass on the bench, and I'll put somebody else who Grandpa jump in, who will guard somebody and who will play hard. At the age of damn near 50 years old, Jeff Green out there making an impact on the defensive side of the ball. And only thing, I'm easily slowing down on Jock Landale. I'm easily slowing down on him. I think that all should be Jeff Green minutes right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jock Landale. I think that's all should be Jeff Green minutes. I don't think Jock Landale right now is working out. Right now it's working out. But again, I don't know when the light gonna turn on that guy. But Grandpa Jeff Green is playing huge for us down the stretch in these late ball games. And again, as we both preached about it a year ago, last year, these are all games. Easily we lose in the third quarter. We easily lose in the third or the fourth quarter. But guess what? When you're not shooting well, you need to be able to play defense on the other side of the ball. And that's one thing we have been doing during the 6-game winning streak. When we're not shooting the ball well, we are playing defense. We're actually standing in front of somebody, playing physical. Ime Udoka putting combinations out there, defensive combinations out there that working. And Aaron Holiday making these point guards work, grabbing them 90 feet. Fred VanVleet, hell of a defender, hell of a defensive guy.
Right.
And LP is even out there playing defense, man. LP has been good on the defensive side of the ball.
He's a defender.
And he's been killing it, man. So I'm enjoying this Rockets defense, man. Like I say, man, some of those games, a lot of those games we were losing in the fourth quarter, we are going to win them this year because now we're proving with a great head coach. I mean, that led Boston to the finals. Coming here, the same young talent that we got, except for KJ Martin, Garuba, and all of them guys that weren't going to be a part of this crew and get bum-ass Station Knicks up out of here. Now you see how the team responding. Now you seeing when a coach is tough on them, holding these guys accountable. If you don't play defense, don't come out and get a maximum effort. You won't play for this guy. Steven Silas, you do what the hell you want to do. You do what you want to do. You're going to play anyway. Ime Udoka is going to talk to them and let them know why they do wrong, but at the same time, he's going to show them tough love, and he's going to put you on that bench at the same time and get somebody else on that court who will actually perform. And we're doing a great job. Again, we're doing a great job, man. We're not scoring. We're not scoring, but we're playing defense. That's what's keeping us in these games and getting us in position to win these games.
Yeah, you said a key thing there. It's keeping us in position to win these games, right? Our offense is what's going to win us the game, but our defense is what keeps us in the game, right? It's just phenomenal to see how our ability to, kind of close on these offensive woes that we might have, these stretches of not scoring with just defensive possession after defensive possession to kind of make up for when our stars are shooting, 39% from the field, 38% from the field, 25% from three, and I can't really say stars if they're doing that consistently at this point, but our key guys, I suppose, is the important thing here. Dante, I do have a question for you. Did we outscore them in transition points?
Did we outscore them in transition points?
Yeah.
In transition on fast break points, we outscored them 9-6.
Okay.
Fast break points. So, yeah, we did outscore them. Now on points off turnovers, they outscored us 27-4 off points on turnovers. But we forced 18 turnovers from them. We only have 9. Like last year, we'd had 30. Last year, we'd had 30 turnovers, 20 turnovers last year. This year, we got actually, like I say, like you said the other day, we haven't had a point guard in 4 years. Nope. Now we got an actual point guard that knows how to not turn the ball over, and LP still been a focal point of the offense. That is good. You got 2 playmakers that can get guys open shot.
And you can sit here and say that as well as LP is a offensive playmaker. He's like a defensive playmaker too. His defensive rating right now is 107.9, which is phenomenal. A year ago, where it was 122. LP has taken strides, not even just offensively, but defensively, which was the thing that we criticized him the most for, was his defense. You can be as great as you want on offense, but at the end of the day, if you're giving up buckets, you got to be like that, James Harden level, that Steph Curry level, that unbelievable offensive engine in order to stay on the court, especially if you're a center and can't play any defense. We're lucky to see people like Sabonis on the court, right? Sabonis isn't considered, one of the greatest centers of all time because he is phenomenal offensively. He's got the same passing package. He can do all that offensively. He can put the ball in the basket whenever he needs. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's a clutch 3-point shooter. But in terms of being anything on defense, he'll get you rebounds, but you can't ask him to guard their best player. You can't throw him out there and be like, hey man, I need you to go wall to wall with their center. No. I mean, I won't lie to you. Sabonis is probably going, 0 of 11 against Jokic in this game, right? Jokic is probably going, when we get into it, Jokic is probably going something about 50, 20, 20 on Sabonis, especially the way that LP was holding our guys earlier. So let's jump right into that, right? This is the game we've been wanting to get into. This is a huge win here that led us 6-0. We are now 6-3 on the year, right? Where we have landed 4th in the standings. Yeah, we are both Golden State Warriors for the first time since 2021 in the standings. My gosh.
Yeah.
We got to credit our guys here, man. Man, screw the Warriors. Anytime they're having a bad time, I just pray for their downfall every time. So let's jump right into it, right? Albert Şengün. He had played 35 minutes. He had 23 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. One of those blocks was a chase down block. Another block was at the beginning of the game where he straight up just blocks Jokic. He ended up shooting 50% from the field, didn't make a 3, but shot 83% from the free throw line, which I believe is the second most free throws he's made in a single game so far, was against Jokic. He also held Jokic in 18 minutes of guarding him during his 35 minutes of play. So about half the time when he ended up fully guarding him, he held Jokic 7 of 17 with 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yes, Jokic had a 30-20, whatever you want to call it game. Yeah, I get it. He had a triple-double. But we were able to endure that level of play and still win.
Yeah.
I mean, they were looking frustrated on the bench there. Then next, Fred VanVleet, who was able to really just turn it on. He played 41 minutes in this game against them. He had 26 points, 2 boards, and 4 assists. However, he shot 43% from the field, 33% from 3, and 71% from the free throw line. And let's get into our boy, Jeff. Jeff, who was just clutch, just calling out plays, hitting bucket after bucket down the stretch for a while there. Uncle Jeff had 15 points, 4 boards, an assist, or a steal and a block. He shot 71% from the field, 50% from 3, and he went 3 or 4 from the free throw line, granting him 75% from the field. He had a plus 14 in a game we won by 3. Dante, let's talk about the keys of the game here between the big man battle, the 3-point offense we had, as well as transition play. Knock it down for us, man.
Man, like I say, man, and one thing I wanted to bring up, man, after the game, it is fun to watch Calvin Murphy in those suits dancing, man. It is fun to watch that, man. You know the Rockets are doing awesome when Calvin Murphy is dancing, happy, and Bill Orell right after Jayshawn Tate makes that inbound steal. You can see Bill Orell just clapping and happy. We haven't seen that in 4 years. We haven't seen none of that energy in 4 freaking years, man. So it's good to see the winning mentality back. And again, 42% from the field. We didn't shoot well from the field. We didn't shoot well from the 3-point line, but we shot better than Denver from the 3-point line. Again, we made our free throws. I mean, we shot 79%, pretty good. Got to the foul line 29 times. That's good. I mean, when you're being aggressive and you're attacking the rim, you're going to get the call. We got out rebounded by 4. Most of that is, guess who? Jokic right there.
Jokic.
Most of that is Jokic. And we got 20 assists. That's a down for what we had. But again, most of us, we wasn't really making it. We didn't have our best shooting game. They had 24 assists. Most of that is who? Jokic. Most of those 24 assists is Jokic right there making a play. 7 steals, 4 blocks. Again, this is what I love right here. We won the turnover battle. We only had 9 turnovers in this game. That's speaking to Fred VanVleet not turning the ball over, handling the ball, and our guys not making those lackadaisical turnovers. Again, points in the paint, they got us points in the paint because they do a lot of cutting in the paint. Jokic do a lot of his damage in the paint. Aaron Gordon then was cutting to the rim, and Michael Porter Jr. then was making tough shots at the rim and stuff. So they did rebound the ball well, pretty good against us. But again, another one of those games, man. We were down every time Jokic. It seemed like every time Jokic was in the game for Denver, they have made a run. And I think the reason why we won this game, one of the key reasons, when the best player go up out of the game, that's the point when you want to start trying to get some momentum and dominate. Like they were about, I believe, 8 in the first quarter. Jokic goes out of the game. We get on a run, gets the first quarter lead down to 6. Jokic still on the bench. We take the lead. They lead, even though they lead at halftime. They had much as a 8-point lead in the third quarter. Jokic goes on the bench. We win the third quarter. We only down by 2 going into the fourth quarter. Then we win the fourth quarter. That was the key. We win the fourth quarter when Jokic on the bench. He comes back in. We didn't never relinquish the lead. And the catalyst to that, Tari Eason, hits 2 big threes in opposite corners, one on the right corner and one on the left corner. Jeff Green hits a 3 on the right corner, and he hits a big time 3 while the shot clock is running down in the center at the top of the 3, man.
Top of the key, baby.
Those 4 threes right there was the keys of the game. And Fred VanVleet had a beautiful third quarter, man. He was unstoppable in the second half. He was really, really good. And again, LP, we mentioned every time Jokic, try to make a play on him, go at him and score, he comes right back. He comes right back with him. He attacks Jokic. He got a couple of N1s off Jokic, physical N1s off Jokic. And Jokic got a lot of respect for that guy, man. They got a lot of respect for each other. And LP, man, is playing like an all-star, man. He's playing like an all-star as right now. But other than that, Jokic is Jokic, man. He's the best player in the goddamn world. He's going to have those numbers. He's going to get heels. He's going to make some amazing shots, no matter what type of defense you play on him. But again, when we didn't shoot well, another game, we didn't shoot well at all, but we got stops. We played great defense. And again, Jabari Smith ended the game on the bench. Who ended the game on the floor? Jeff Green. Grandpa Jeff Green. That means Jabari Smith. Come on, bro. You got to step your game up another notch, man. You got to be more physical. You got to be more physical on the offensive boards and on the defensive boards. I thought it was some key offensive rebounds that he had in that third quarter, though. The 2 tip-ins that he had in the third quarter, I thought that was key in this game. And Jayshawn Tate, can't say enough about this guy. It was a play. It was a possession I looked at, dude. I think we were down by 6. We were down by 6. They get the rebound. He pokes the ball out of the defender hand, and he dives on the floor and gets us another.
Yeah, and then he tangles him up.
And he tangles him up. And the inbound steal was magnificent, man. So Jayshawn Tate has been balling his ass off. And this is with Jalen Green only having 9 points in the game, bro. Only having 9 points in the game. Had an abysmal shooting game. 1 of 13, 1 of 4 from 3. And we won a game when Jalen Green actually only scored 9 points, but he had 5 assists. I like the way he didn't score.
Oh, yes.
He had 5 assists, that beautiful dime to LP that he had for a dunk in the fourth quarter and 8 rebounds. Man, when is the last time we talk about Jalen Green don't have to score just for us to win a game?
Dude, let's talk about that playmaking, that play there he had with the assist, right, with Alperen Sengun. So Jalen goes to the free throw line, right? He got that foul off Michael Porter Jr., right? He goes to the free throw line. He's talking to LP, talking about something, run the same play, except he's pointing to him, telling LP where to go, right? So Jalen Green is coming down the court to make that same play. They do the screen play, right? And then he just drives right to the right. Alperen Sengun, instead of staying in the corner now, starts to move in, right? From the corner, Aaron Gordon starts pointing at Jokic, saying he's got him. So Jokic steps up to go to guard him. And right as he steps up, Jalen Green goes up for that layup and then bounce passes it to Jokic. That was so beautiful. That was such a big brain play right there. And then Alperen Sengun is pointing to his head, saying that was big. That was an IQ move. And he's dapping him up after. That was phenomenal. Okay, now Frank the Tank, right? Not our Frank the Tank we're going to talk about, but Tank over on the X app said something along the lines of, it reminds him of the chemistry that Kobe and Pau had. Dante, what do you feel about that?
I mean, I wouldn't say Kobe and Powell, but
not that they are that level, but that chemistry, that
chemistry,
the play style.
The play style. I mean, again, Kobe and Powell was on a different level on the play style. I mean, but Jalen Green, they have the potential to do that, man. I mean, when Jalen wasn't playing any deep, wasn't scoring, LP was able to pick him up, and that's how it should be. But we also got other guys like Fred VanVleet that should get you 20 points, 23 points on any given night. Dylan Brooks is the best shooting percentage in the league, man. 3-point. Dylan at 56%. Man, that is something scorching hot. He's been consistent, but I definitely can attest to that, man. Their mentality is like the Kobe and Paul Gasol. Like, if there'll be a game that LP don't go crazy, don't go out, and Jalen Green will be able to. Green will be able to. But LP has been very consistent since the season has started.
Mm-hmm. between Alperen Şengün and Dylan Brooks, those have been our two most consistent players, I would say, in terms of field goal percentage. But overall, I would say our top three now are Fred, Şengün, and Dylan. Fred just being consistent either in terms of scoring the basket or getting you an assist. He's been able to run the offense very effectively. Again, like in a game today, he realized that, yep, people aren't hitting their shots. He owns landed shots. Jabari, only taking 7 shots. People aren't shooting too well. So let me go to my game and start scoring. And like you said, in that third quarter, he was just absolutely ballistic. He had 10 plus points in the third quarter there, and he went 5 of 6, I believe, or 4 of 5. He was just turning it on. Fred VanVleet has earned a new respect for me. And then that Jae'Sean Tate steal. Oh my goodness. For the inbound play, was able to poke it away and get it up the court. That was just so phenomenal. Jae'Sean Tate has earned his spot on the team for now. I'm just absolutely a player that has earned his spot. Like you were saying, we were off the Jae'Sean Tate train. We were ready to get rid of him, but here's my apology for him right now. My bad, Tate. My bad. I forgot how good you were when you were healthy. My goodness. Last season you were on and off the court, could barely stay on the court, always hurt. I was ready to write you off. If anything, I actually want to trade you to the Nuggets for the longest time. And here we are beating the Nuggets. My goodness.
We got Mr. AD in the chat right now, and then he said something we haven't heard in 3 years is defense.
Yeah.
Right. And he have a interesting question saying, do y'all think Jabari Smith should move to the bench? I've been seeing him in late game situations on the bench. Yeah, and that's something we talked about, but I think he may keep him in the starting lineup, but it's not good when you're seeing him on the bench though. Yes. In late stages situation. That means, again, he's not playing physical enough on the offense on the boards. Jeff Green, as you got Jeff Green up and now stopping Zion, guarding Zion Williamson. That becomes a problem when you got Jeff Green up in there stopping Zion Williamson, and you a young guy supposed to have the defensive upside. And you're not up and down being able to, stop him. You're not going to stop him physically because he's stronger and he can get in the paint. But when you got Jeff Green out there guarding him, getting him in foul trouble, being aggressive, that becomes a problem for me. So, yeah, that's a good question, Mr. AD.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Dante. Now, I would like to say that going forward, I'm still all right with Jabari Smith being on the starting lineup. I don't have a problem with it. We see players like Jalen Green all the time not closing games if it's a close game like this when you need a defensive stop, right? That's just how it is. I don't mind Jabari sitting on the bench for now. In the future, I want him to be out there, right? We can't rely on, 9 games of, Uncle Jeff, right? He's going to get tired. That's okay. He old, right? But he's going to get tired, and he's not going to be able to play back-to-backs, right? We're going to need Jabari Smith to step up. We're going to need Alperen Şengün to step up. We're going to need Jalen Green to step up in these defensive moments. So that way we're not, putting out like a rookie like Ahmed Thompson to expect him to get a stop. Or again, a 45-year-old player in Jeff Green. We need people who, are young guys. They need to be able to have the footwork and the necessary means to have that stop, to be able to make that stop. But that's a very good question. Hopefully we answer that for you, AD.
Yep.
Jabari Smith, I think, should continue starting, but hopefully we don't have to get into should he start. That's not a question I want to delve into just yet in his young career. Hopefully we don't end up having to. So, all right. So Johnson and I, we've been playing a fun game, but right before we get into that, Dante had a couple stats he wanted to bring up. He's been very excited to talk about. So Dante.
Hey, so the question I want to ask you, Press, is for the listeners and everybody in the chat. Won't you tell everybody, when did the Rockets actually get their 6th victory? When did they actually get their 6th victory from last year? We got 6 already. And I know that's way, way earlier than we got it last year. With the way we got it last year, it didn't look too good because we did a lot of losing at the beginning of last year. So, Mr. Prince, won't you tell everybody, when did the Rockets get their 6th win of the season dating back to last year?
Yeah, well, last year we didn't get our 6th win until December 2nd. After 16 losses, we got our 6th win of the season in 22 games. That's tough.
That is crazy.
That's tough. 6 and 16. That's tough. That's real rough, man. What can we say?
I remember because I remember our 7th win came against the Bucks, wasn't it? Or was it that the 7th win was against the Bucks? I know the 8th win was against the Sixers in double overtime when Joel Embiid fouled out. So I remember those 2 wins right out the gate. But Lord, we hit it early though. We ate that 6th win early, and hey man, I love this one right
And
here.
that's granted us the 4th seed in a tough Western Conference. I mean, the only people above us are the Nuggets, the Wolves, and the Mavs, which are all trying to contend for a championship. We were just trying to make the play in. We're messing around, maybe making the playoffs. Hot take. But it would be insane to exceed our expectations and be like at minimum a 6th seed. If we could go from literally the 3rd worst record in the entire league to a 6th seed in one season, this season, that's a championship for us, right? That's absolutely crazy, and all we didn't add, like a superstar. We just added an all-star, an all defensive talent, another veteran, and a championship pedigree coach, right? Which I'm saying only. It's not like we dropped LeBron James on, it's not like we dropped a Jason Tatum on our team, or even a Donovan Mitchell. We kept the same core and just added a couple of vets in there, added some defense that we needed, and added a phenomenal coach. And boom, we are the 4th seed.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm like again, I know we off to a good start, 6-3, and they moved us up to number 8th in the rankings already. And our defensive improvement, but again, our expectations is still at least the play-in tournament. If we at least get into the play-in tournament, no matter if it's 10th, 9th, or 8th, that's still expectations that we succeeded. But how about if we get into the 6th seed and actually make the actual playoff? We goddamn ahead of schedule. We ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
We ahead of schedule. So that would be something great. That's good that you brought that up.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can be ahead of schedule in terms of like the growth and where we thought we would be at for our team, again, that's my championship, right?
Yep.
And we're already 1-0 in the tournament for our bracket. Now I think our bracket is the Pelicans, the Nuggets, the Clippers, and Kings.
Yep.
And Spurs, maybe, or Mavs. I think it's the Mavs. I'm not sure for our tournament bracket. But starting out, where 3 of us have won a game, the other 2 have lost. I'd say that's pretty good. And again, I just want to reiterate Alperen Sengun's defensive rating here at 107.9. Alp is doing it all, from his defensive improvements to even his overall rebounding, and then his obvious playmaking. And a lot of that has to do with just playing through him, right? Letting him appeal to his strengths on defense, letting him appeal to his strengths on offense instead of forcing him to, just be a ball passer and a screen setter and a hard roller, because Alperen Sengun isn't a hard roller, right? He's not a lob threat. He's got quick hops, but he's not a lob threat. That's fine. He's thriving and doing what he's got to do right now. And I mean, again, holding Jokic 7 for 17. Name a player who's guarded him better all season. Shit. In the finals, what was Bam doing? Getting cooked. 30-point triple-double left and right. 60% shooting. 70% shooting. Here we are. Alperen Sengun. Some 6'11" Turkish twister going off. Absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to jump to our final segment for our podcast today, and it's going to be our resupply the bench edition. So we've been looking at kind of a big. Last time we went for a center, so this time I'm going for a 4 that can play the 5, And I think you guys all know who I'm going to talk about. I like this guy. He's not an all-star by any means. He's a low scorer, but he brings that size and energy we might need. He's currently a free agent right now, so we wouldn't have to trade him. We could sign him for a veteran minimum. Frank Kaminsky. I love Frank the Tank, man. So some positives for him. You know, he's a career 35% 3-point shooter, and he's 75% free throw shooter, right? So he's an efficient shooter as it is. He's a rebounder as well. He only receives 4 boards a game, but he also doesn't play many minutes. Per 36 stats, he's averaging almost double that, almost 8 boards a game. So that's what I'm kind of looking at here, is the more minutes he plays, the more rebounds he's getting, which is generally true for most players. But as a backup guy, that's not bad. He went in the 2015-2016 draft way back as the 9th pick. And again, he's just kind of a guy who brings that additional size that we need. Some things, though, that are kind of bad about him is in his low minutes he does play, he's getting almost 2 fouls a game, closer to 1.5, actually. So, which is not great, of course. His defensive skills aren't phenomenal, as you see in the points per here, with 0.4 steals a game and 0.4 blocks a game for his career. He's never averaged more than a block a game. And so overall, his defense isn't phenomenal. He's also just kind of getting old. You know, again, he's been in the league for over, 8 years now, 9 years now, again, being a free agent for this season. But he did play for us last year. We've also got Boban, which can play the center. And Frank is a 7-foot guy that, again, can kind of stretch the floor just a little bit at a more consistent rate, as well as his health, right? He just can't stay on the floor. He hasn't had great health the last couple seasons. Last year, he only played 20 games total. The year before that, he played 40. Not great. But if we can get him to be some sort of backup in replace of Jock Landale, who can just come in and play 13 minutes a game, right? Playing some better defense in this kind of new defensive scheme, I think will definitely benefit him more. Give me your thoughts on Frank the Tank Kaminsky, and should he make a return, Dante?
Should he make the return? I don't want Frank Kaminsky. I don't want something that we had already. That's just, I don't want spoiled milk. Something that we already had. Just like Ime Udoka said to James Harden, now you a has-been for us. Frank Kaminsky, the same thing. Steven Silas, keep all of Steven Silas guys away from the Houston Rockets. Right.
Wait. But Alfred Şengün was a Steven Silas.
No, I'm just saying, like, in that the ones that we wasn't gonna keep, that we were always gonna keep LP. We already know he's the future. We already know Raphael Stone said the core already came out basically said who the core guys was gonna be, who we built it around, which was LP Green, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and all of those guys. Now we have Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, and all of those guys. Those are our core guys that we are building around. And Frank, I mean, the problem is he can't stay on the floor. He can't stay on the floor. He's never healthy. So I mean, again, that's that he's a very good shooter. Got to give him that. Very good shooter. Competes hard on the defensive end. But what good does it make if you always in street clothes? What good does it make? It doesn't help your cause getting on the floor, playing if you always in street clothes, and you in street clothes and you don't play that much. You don't play that much, and you still in street clothes. So he's already been a part of this organization, and he didn't work out in the NBA, even though he did average 9. He did average 9 points in the game. But again, this man was he a lottery pick? One of the lottery picks?
Yep. He was the 9th pick.
He was the 9th pick of the draft by Charlotte, but other than that, he's never on the court. And I'm done with Frank to say I'd just rather stay with Jock Landale. I think if Jock Landale continues to perform, continues to underperform, we can come off his contract. If it don't work out, we can come off of it easily. And I like the way with Raphael Stone negotiating contracts as well. We're committed to these guys, but also if they don't come out and perform how they supposed to, it's also easier to get up out of their contract. Just like a Jock Landale, we can get off of it this year. I know it's 3 years, but we can actually get off of it at the trade deadline. Just like Daniel Tice, we gave him 3 years. 3 years, but what we did at that trade deadline, we traded him. because it wasn't working out. Wasn't working out. So it's a workable contract. We can trade him if it doesn't work out. And I know I will bring it up. I will bring it up when we get up off here. Another segment not a segment, but it's going to be one of them centers though. It's going to be one of them centers that a certain center that I just wanted to see when we have our next podcast. But I'm bringing up to you. But Frank Pominski, I'm done with him. He's always in street clothes and
fair.
Yeah, he's not always on the court, and then he don't play much, and he's still hurt.
Yeah, I'm definitely biased towards Frank. I think in the minutes he does play again, his Pro 36 numbers are pretty good. Again, going about 8 rebounds a game, close to a steal and a block a game. It's pretty nice for a guy that really hasn't been given a chance throughout his career.
Right.
He's been a starter, but never a key piece, never a guy, kind of like around those Mason Plumlee types, just guys that are good at a lot of things, but never great at one thing.
Now we get him, and we get him. Would I be upset? No, I wouldn't be upset. But I'd just rather not get him. But I wouldn't be upset. I trust Ime Udoka to make the right decisions with these players.
Yes. Yep. And that's the fun part about the resupply of the bench additions to the segments we're doing here. It's just kind of some nice lighthearted chatting. As far as Frank the Tank goes, again, I'm a fan of Frank. I am biased towards him. He's never done anything too crazy in his career, but he's never been atrocious, right? He's never been. I've never looked at him and been like, dang, how does this dude ever make an NBA team? I think he's okay. He does his thing. He comes in, gets his money, and leaves. That's cool by me. But another center or another forward that I had an option for here. Now, I didn't forget him a slide, but a forward that would be pretty nice is there's some disgruntled guys out there right now. We talked about potentially getting a Kyle Kuzma type.
Yep.
Dante, how do you feel about Kyle?
How I feel about Kyle?
Yeah. What's your own opinion?
Like if he's tradable, right? I don't want to have to give up no pieces for him.
Yeah. Maybe would you be okay with giving up picks?
I'll be okay giving up picks, but the problem is he's a starter. He's a starter. That's what be my main problem. He's a starter, and I don't want him to just come in and start. And now all of a sudden you got to put Jabari or someone on the bench or something like that. Which is now, if Jabari is willing to do that, sacrifice that, then I will be okay. I will be okay with giving up picks. If you got to give up picks for him, I will be okay, especially second round picks and stuff like that. I will be fine. If Jabari, like Ime Udoka, is going to have a smooth way of saying, Jabari, hey, what would you like to come off the bench? And I think Jabari is that type of young player that will actually do that. Mm-hmm. Now, if he's willing to do that, to let Kyle Kuzma start, I'll be all in. Because, again, I trust Ime Udoka what he does with this team.
Yeah, it looks like that. I haven't watched any Wizards game, but I've seen quite a few highlights, and the pool party does not look very fun right now.
No, it don't look good. The Washington Wizards have probably the worst defense in the association. And again, we can score 100, 200 points on them, right? We can score 200 points on them right now. But again, and we don't got to give up players like our young core or something like that. Then I don't want to do the move. But if we just pick, if you're talking about just picks or second round picks, yeah, I gamble. I gamble and do that.
Definitely. Yeah, it would be quite interesting. I don't think Washington's going to do that at all. Yeah. They definitely try to trade him to a contender, like something like the lines of like the Nuggets, or maybe back to the Lakers, something like that is where I would foresee Kuzma going. Maybe even potentially if they think they've got a shot, the Brooklyn Nets taking another swing at a player, kind of a bigger guy who can get some rebounds, and that's kind of lengthier. But that's all I got for the resupply of the bench edition. We're going to enter our closing bits here for our podcast. I don't have much to say other than our team is 6-3. We're 4th right now in the Western Conference standings. And other than Jalen Green kind of shit in the bed these last couple games, there's really not much that I can say negatively. Dylan Brooks is working out pretty well. Fred VanVleet has been phenomenal. Alperen Sengun is looking like an all-star right now. Man, there's not much else to say except keep going on it, right? Dante, do you have anything else before we go?
Man, like I say, man, I'm just thankful to see this team finally win basketball games, man. Uh
Yeah.
we got the right coach. Like I said, we got the right coach. And some of them games that we were losing, like I said last year, we're winning them this year. I mean, when we can not score on offense and go on to one of those cold droughts, this year we got defense. We got defense that we actually can rely on. We're not giving up 130 points, 140 points like we were doing. We not non-existent on the defensive side of the ball, like we were pretty much last year. I believe it's only 2 games that we had pretty much that went over in the high 100s. I believe that was a Charlotte game. That was a Charlotte game because 119. We gave a 119 against Charlotte. That was in garbage time though. They got them points in garbage time.
Yep.
I believe San Antonio scored over 100. San Antonio scored pretty much 126. That was our highest scoring game given up. And we even held the Warriors to 106. Wasn't even bad defense. We didn't shoot well in that game. And we just ever since the first game, we got pummeled versus the Magic. That second game, I don't think we get pummeled like that again against the Magic. That second game in Toyota Center. That's just a day that we forgot we had like a basketball game. Outside of the early beginning of that third quarter when Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet was hot, and after that we decided to turn the ball over 3 straight times. And other than that
was the game.
6-3, man, already ahead of schedule. Man, we didn't win our 6th game till on December last year. That was just absolutely embarrassing watching Rockets basketball. We thought we had an ANU basketball team out there. Just a bunch of kids playing against grown men out there that didn't know how to play basketball, that wasn't taught the game of basketball the right way. Now we got a coach that's teaching the game the right way, that these guys coming out here every game. Now it's fun to go out here and watch these guys play. They have a chance to win every single night.
They do.
On the basketball court. We actually look like a team, and we actually playing like, hey, we can go out there and get a win every single night. We feel like we can win the game every single night. The way we're playing defense, the way, Fred VanVleet is leading this team. And you can see guys in the middle of the game like Fred VanVleet, like Dylan Brooks, getting on Jabari Smith and getting on Tari and then all these young guys. And for them, every time they lackadaisical, you can see Fred VanVleet. When the last time we had a damn huddle? We even had a huddle. When was the last time we even had a huddle? I mean, what was that game? I believe we would have said that was the game against the Pelicans. Okay, the game against the Pelicans. I believe I forgot who got fouled, but Fred VanVleet called for a huddle, and someone was slow getting the huddle. He said, "Come on, bring your ass on."
Mm-hmm.
And huddling up, I can hear it out of Fred VanVleet's mouth, and he did like that. He said, "Come on, man. Come on, man." When the last time we ever did that? We ever did that and had that leadership? I mean, I'm just enjoying every second of Rockets basketball.
Facts. Me too, man. Me too. Well, hopefully the streak continues. Again, we are 6-0, 6-1 right now in our current 7-game homestand, but 6-0 in the last 6 games. We have the 3rd longest active winning streak right now behind the Wolves, which I believe are on a 6-0 run as well, and then the Philly and Celtics. So I would say that for us to be, right there in 4th, for us to even be a part of any winning streak right now, I believe it is our 2nd longest winning streak since last year, right? I think the longest winning streak we had last year was 7 games. This year we've already got 6, and it's only November 13th.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. I'm excited for our next game against the Clippers here. Dante, we're going to be playing against the Claw, PG-13, Russell Westbrook, Ivica Zubac, and James Harden the Beard. It'll be the Beard's 2nd return against the Rockets, once against the Nets, as well as once against the Philadelphia 76ers. Dante, the Clippers right now on an 0-4 game slide. They're not looking too good. Of course, it does take a minute. Both James Harden and Russell Westbrook are notorious slow starts, so hopefully they don't have a good game against us. The last game, James Harden played, he shot 4 of 13, as well as Paul George and Russell Westbrook not doing too well. Victor Zubac has been horrible for them. Dante, over under 114 Rockets. Do we win that game? Over under?
I say we win that game, but I say under 114.
Under 114.
Yeah, I say we win that game closely. Last time, I mean, every time last year we played the Clippers, I think the games were close outside of last year. It was I believe the first game against the Clippers last year. I can still remember that Paul George won the game for the Clippers. That first meeting, that was tough. Paul George was PG-13 at that time.
He turned
PG-13 in that fourth quarter. The first meeting, I remember that meeting. We had an opportunity to win, and he just turned in Paul George. Now, let's hope he doesn't do that on Friday night because they've been struggling. And it would, like I would say to myself, it would be a time they are 0-4 and they get a win against us. That's just typical right there. That's just crap like that. It have to be. Why couldn't be anybody else but the Houston Rockets? But like I say, Ime Udoka and our ability to get stops when we can't score, I believe will give us an opportunity to win this game.
Right on, right on. I also believe in the ability that our team has to end up winning us the game. So Dante and I are going to end it today. Absolutely fantastic episode as usual. You can follow us at the H-Town Rundown on Facebook as well as Twitter, the Spotify app, and YouTube. Be sure to check us out there as well. You can follow me at Drip. That's 2piece_GAWD. Your host, Preston Simpson. You can follow me on Facebook at Preston Simpson or at DRIPP_JWT at Instagram, as well as Twitter. You can follow Dante at Coach Dante31 on Instagram and Twitter as well. Dante, tell them about your YouTube.
Y'all can find me at Coach Dante on YouTube, man. Shout out to everybody for coming to today's Town Rundown. Shout out to everybody that's a part of it, the Texan side over there, man, doing some great job. AD, the founder of this. Shout out to everybody, man. But honor to be a part of the Rockets division, talk Rockets basketball. And like I say, man, we are up, man. We up. Right now, we're turning up both sides, man. The football side and the basketball side, man. We doing awesome.
Yeah, I believe the Texans are 5-4 right now for the first time in a long time. They're positive, as well as us being positive for the first time since 2021 as well. Texans going 5-4 right now is absolutely phenomenal. Us 6-3, just great stuff. And then especially Texans coming back from that Bengals game to make it 30-27. Of course, CJ Stroud, 33 seconds on the clock is too much for him. You cannot give CJ any time. He's too clutch. He's too good. Man, CJ out there making potentially MVP conversations. He's got 200 more, 150 more passing yards than Patrick Mahomes right now. He's got 6 less interceptions as well, and 1 less touchdown than him. I would say CJ Stroud is making a big stride right now in terms of getting his name out there. That's Offensive Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, for the NFL.
Definitely.
But that's going to end it for us today. So be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know what was your favorite defensive play from this stretch here. Was it the Alperen Şengün block on Jokic, or was it his chase down block where he let this little dude get by and he swatted that shit off the backboard? Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And join us next week, same time, same day. See ya.
See y'all, man.